and their administration. And of course, of the long-standing advisor and friend, Dr. Nasr, who first helped initiate this collaboration, and without his support, things would have been quite difficult. And I would also like to thank the two other members of the selection committee, Professor Emeritus Roger Savory of the University of Toronto and Dr. Ghulam Hamid, who have worked consistently to choose from among the candidates suggested by the community of Iranian studies from around the world, and each year have selected really extraordinarily well. Now, this year, of course, I don't want to go into the introduction of Dr. Massumeh Farhad, a wonderful friend, but I just want to say that her scholarship, of course, will be talked about by Dr. Nasr, who will introduce her. But what I just want to say about Massumeh is that her knowledge and her in-depth familiarity and engagement with Iranian studies in the area of culture and art are one side of her work. The other is the extraordinary passion that she has for Iranian culture and Iranian art. Some of you may have been at the Sackler Freer Gallery last on the 13th of March, and may have seen what went on there. It was the most extraordinary event where the two wonderful galleries, Sackler and Freer, were both open to thousands of Iranian Americans, but not just Iranian Americans, the whole diversity, the whole rainbow that is America, and 3 generations of children and parents and grandparents, and people, little ones running around with costumes and things that they had created around the symbols of the Shahnameh, little jamshids and white deeds and rostams, and the practicing of the calligraphy, and the beautiful haftzin, and the music, and the pastries, and the sabzi. So all these sounds and tastes and smells of Iran and of Noruz. And it is all due to her, this beautiful gathering, and I think it's unique in anywhere outside Iran and inside Iran at this particular moment. So that's all due to her passion and her direction of all that. So I want to express all of our gratitude as a community for doing that. And now I would like to ask my friend Dr. Nasr I would like to invite him to introduce Massumeh's scholarly side. Thank you very much.
اگه اجازه دهید قبل از معرفی دانشمند محترم خانم فرهاد تبریک سال نو و عید نوروز رو خدمت همگان تقدیم کنم. خیلی متاسفانه خیلی مجبور هستم صدام درست نمیتونم بخشید ولی به هر حال دست صدا رسانی است ولی صمیمیت تجربه گفتن و صمیم قلبه. برای همه‌تون آرزو می‌کنم که سال خیلی خوبی همه ایرانیان همیشه داشته باشند و از این مشکلاتی که ارواح شروع هستن صورت پیروز خواهد جریان و باب جدید زندگی همگان آغاز میشه. I'm supposed to introduce Dr. Farhad in English, so I shall do so. First of all, on behalf of George Washington University, I want to say how happy the university is to continue this collaboration with the Foundation for Iranian Studies, which has been conducting these lectures for some 20 years, 2 decades, or generations past practically, and we hope that for that 20 years under your own able guidance, these lectures will continue. Fortunately, as we began with older and older people who were very well known, and years went by, younger scholars came to the fore, and today we are actually going to be treated by one of the best of the younger scholars, Persian scholars who was abroad. It's a sign of the fact that I'm growing very old, that I knew Massumeh Farhad when she was only 5 years old, running around in the house of her parents. Dr. Farhad, her father, was my first boss when I went to Iran in 1958. He actually employed at Tehran University beside her family friends. My wife was a very good friend of her sisters. And they used to lose tennis matches to me and get angry, but she was too small, she would just watch from the side. Her father, a word has to be said about him because she is heir to many remarkable aspects of this man who's not really well enough known in Iran. He was, of course, a radiologist, he was a professor of medicine at Tehran University, for many years president of Tehran University. But he was a man of culture, a remarkable man of culture, who loved science, not just applied science, but science in its purity, and the arts, and had great love for things Persian. After he fell from the presidency, or he left the presidency of the university, he suggested and created a kind of secret organization of 10 or 12 of the leading scholars of Iran to try to found something like the Royal Society of Great Britain in the 17th century, which was founded when a number of men just met very informally to discuss things together. This is how much passion and love he had for matters of science and learning, especially things Iranian. His many daughters are all very accomplished people in different fields, but the person who I believe inherited more than anyone else his love for Iran and Persian culture, of course, is Massumeh Farhad. Massumeh Farhad is a graduate of Wellesley College, Massachusetts, and Harvard University. She studied with Otto Kabar, one of my very dear friends from baseball, when he and I were both at Harvard in the 1950s. He died recently and trained the whole generation of younger scholars in the field of Islamic art. Oleg and I did not always meet eye to eye about the meaning of Islamic art, but I always had the greatest respect for him as a remarkable scholar. And I know that Dr. Farhad benefited greatly from the remarkably wide experience of this man in various aspects of Islamic art, and especially Persian art, which is in a sense the peak of this mountain range of Islamic art. Iran has always been a great center of this art, and Massumeh's work has most of all concentrated actually on Iran. I'm sorry if I call you by your first name, it's very hard after all these years not to do so. Dr. Farhad, Dr. Farhad, after receiving a PhD, worked for a while in England, and then in 1995 joined the Sackler Gallery, where after a few years she became the curator of Islamic art. And in this position, she has been able to organize many major exhibitions of Islamic and Persian art at the Freer Art Gallery and at the Sackler. And for those who are present here, it's very important to know that Washington, D.C., especially at the Freer Art Gallery, has one of the best collections of Persian miniatures in the world. Not as well known as those of England, but after London, I think it's the second city, no more than Paris, as far as the collection with Birmingham has the best collection, which I hope our countrymen and countrywomen would benefit from as well. The great heritages of Persian art, right in the city, somewhat hidden from sight, and she has done a great deal actually to make this better known. What she's going to talk about is a very interesting subject, that is the subject of Alexander the Great. We Persians are one of the very few nations who love to give names of those who have conquered us and killed us to our children. So many Persians are called Timur and Jahangir and Changiz and Hulagu and Iskandar. But Iskandar has a very special place, different from all the other conquerors, because the Persian mind became identified actually with Sage King, as Dr. Farhad calls it. We have this in our tradition. Feridun was already considered to be a Sage King, appears in the Shahnameh and in the works of Sohrawardi, the veteran philosopher, as a great symbol of the Sage King. And somehow this attribution was bestowed upon Alexander, and for generations some of the greatest works of Persian art, dealing and literary art, not only painting, have been devoted to the subject of Alexander and the idea that he was not only a great world conqueror, but also as a student of Aristotle, a person in quest of wisdom, and after the water life, founder of the Books of Life, and many other very, very interesting subjects. Alexander is a highly Persian figure, while being a person who did a great deal of harm as far as the history, of course, the continuous history of Iran was concerned, and destroyed the Achaemenid dynasty and caused for a whole century Iran to be ruled by foreigners. But nevertheless, he's a very enigmatic and important figure, both artistically, as far as painting is concerned, and also from a literary point of view, as you recall, the Shahnameh, Nizami, many other writings. So without much ado, I hope everybody has come in by now, and I will ask Dr. Farhad